What's up, guys? Welcome to M2M coverage. The Champions League draw has been released, and we are here to break it down. Emir, Ahmed, and Julian, as always. Let's get into the first matchup. We got Man City against Mönchengladbach. Julian, I'm going to come to you first on this one. What do you see happening in this matchup?
Well, I'm sure it's interesting. I'm sure Gladbach was very happy to see that they were not drafted to the same group as Man City as they have been for the past few seasons, and now only to be met in the round of 16. For them, I think this is – I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion because all the German teams have been playing quite well in this tournament so far, but it's City. I know Pep, he's been a coach in the Bundesliga before. He knows how all these teams like to play. He's even described them like, sure, he says they have beautiful play, but that I think that in his code language, that means he already has a game plan. He knows what to do. I think this is going to City. I think this is going to be one of the more, if you're planning on betting, I think this is one of the safer bets, is betting on City here. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our other guys have a similar take, but just for the sake of getting you guys to comment on it, Ahmed, you want to go?
I mean, Mönchengladbach is already 8th place in their league. You know, they're not exactly one of the better teams this season in Germany. Like, we one of the bet, like what we're seeing from Leipzig and Leverkusen this season. But so that's why I also agree with Julian. I think it's going to be very easy for City here, and it's definitely a safe bet. You know, you won't make that much money off of it, but definitely safe.
Yeah.
And Emir, what does Gladbach have to do to pull off the upset?
I mean, there's not much they can do. I mean, they still have hope because City haven't been their strongest so far this season.
Yeah.
It seems like they're kind of struggling to find some goals. I mean, recently they've been finding some, but especially towards the beginning of the season, they weren't really finding too many goals. But, I mean, Gladbach, they should look forward to the match because they've been on a run in their group. I mean, I don't think they were the favorites to get out of their group. I think it was more Real Madrid and Inter Milan to get out of that group. So just getting out of the group, I think they're happy with that. And whatever happens now. The pressure's off of them. I think it's on City.
Yeah, I think in the same line, it's like I guess like we were saying, this is City's game to lose. Honestly, they pretty much have it. It's their game to lose. They have to mess up bad to not win this game.
Yeah, then let's move on to the next matchup. That one has a pretty general consensus. Bayern Munich taking on Lazio. Julian, you want to go first again?
Yeah, sure. Again, I think this match is going to go the way of the defenders here. You're sure Lazio, Italian side, they always like to pull out something unexpected, especially in these Champions League matchups. And you look at Mobile or whatever. I actually forgot how to say it. I always forget how to say his name, but whatever. He's a flashy forward. He gets it done. He definitely put some goals in the net. I think you can definitely expect some kind of battle between him and Lewandowski. Because I know Lewandowski has said that he's a fan of the as well. So we can expect some flashy play. But I think that when you look back to front, Bayern is definitely the more solid squad. And I think Flick is excited for this matchup as well.
Ahmed?
I was about to say, I think you're talking about Ciro Immobile, right?
Yeah, Immobile, that's it.
Yeah. I actually think he's quite the opposite of flashy. I mean, he seems to go under the radar in like the media, but he's always putting up great numbers recently, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but definitely, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's going to be two good attacks. But at the end of the day, I think Bayern Munich are the champions. They're holding. They're going to try to hold it down. And I don't really see Lazio going away with this one.
Yeah.
Similarly to the Man City and Mönchengladbach.
I shouldn't have said flashy. That was not the right word. I was thinking sort of like more explosive. Like when he scores, he tends to score. And he's got a couple famous games where he's got hat tricks. I think he's
exactly. And I love him because he's always putting up good numbers, but nobody really talks about him. In the Serie A and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's. I think Emir has a similar consensus. Let's move on to Chelsea and Atlético because Chelsea's top 5 in the Premier League right now. they've been pretty good, I guess, as expected. Who is winning this matchup?
I think this is one of the tougher matchups. This is probably the toughest matchup in the round of 16, in my opinion, because you have two really good teams. Atletico Madrid are doing very well this season. I think they're tied at the top with Real Sociedad, as weird as that sounds. But their defense has been really good this season, and I guess I really don't know who's gonna come away with this. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know.
I'll say I agree that this is probably the closest matchup so far. I do have Atletico winning it just because they're so consistent and they're so organized. If Chelsea decide to have a day, they can easily get rid of Atletico, but it depends on if they're on or off that day that they play. I don't know. That's why I picked Atletico, because they're always so consistent, organized. Simeone is very experienced with the Champions League. He's got this covered, I think.
Yeah, I also went with the Atletico here. And I'm looking at this, but I think, again, it could go either way because you have two teams with a lot of weapons up top. Frank Lampard was saying, I think yesterday or something, that talking about Atletico has a lot of weapons. And then it's sort of, wait a second, Frank, so do you. You spend all this money on all these forwards. You've got a lot at your disposal as well. So I think this could end up, if either team decides to really show up and turn it on, I think either team could end up scoring like 4 goals, honestly. But yeah, I went Atletico for the sake of being controversial and having no English teams going through. If that doesn't spoil my pick for the next match as well.
Yeah, that is pretty controversial to have no English teams going through. But yeah, let's go on. Leipzig against Liverpool. This is where Julian told us he has an upset. What do you predict? And why?
So I will say, beginning of the year, never would have said this, I don't think. But I think Leipzig, they've been on fire so far. They made it through the group stage, with putting on a bit of a show as well. And you look at Liverpool, they have more than a couple key injuries now. And I think that they haven't shown the form that they showed last year, just in general and throughout all of their play. And I guess someone had to pick a controversial take here. I think Leipzig, if you really want to push on underdog, I think they're going to be the ones to do it.
Yeah, top 3 in the Bundesliga right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
With Bayern and Leverkusen, so they have looked pretty strong so far this season. But Emir, Ahmed, do you guys have disagreements there? I'm sure you do.
Well, you already know I'm with Liverpool. Leipzig is an interesting team. I think they are, a favorable team for an upset. But and I know, Julian, you were going to mention the injuries this season for Liverpool, but we should have, Thiago Alcantara back, late December, late this month. And we should also have our talisman, Jota, early February, perhaps in time for this match. I'm pretty sure, since the match is probably going to be February 16th. So maybe. And also, we have to also think about this January transfer window. I'm sure Klopp is looking into some transfers, especially for our defense. We're missing Joe Gomez and Van Dijk out for the season. So I'm sure he's definitely going to try to get someone to help out, perhaps Upamecano from Leipzig, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, there you go.
Right.
And Emir, you want to finish off?
Yeah, I do think Liverpool are the favorites here, but I'm not necessarily going to disagree with Julian, because I think that this is definitely the upset of the round if it does happen. Leipzig had a strong run last year, semifinals. They've shown that they can play against big teams, that they're not afraid of any of the big teams. And an already weak Liverpool, They've been dropping points against Brighton, I think it was, and then earlier this week, was it Wolves that they dropped points against? Or that was last week?
No, we beat them 4-0, mate.
No, that
Yeah, we dropped. You're talking about Fulham. Fulham, we tied.
We
drew
Fulham. You dropped points against Fulham and Brighton the week before Wolves. So, I mean, again, I think Liverpool are the favorites. Like Ahmed said, they're probably going to make some signings, considering the amount of injuries and such a tight schedule that they have. They need that depth in the squad. Even if they didn't have injuries, he would still be making signings because they're playing games pretty much every 3 days, 4 days now with this schedule. Right. So I'm still going to give it to Liverpool here.
I think, real quick, I think it's going to be pretty interesting because of this draw. I don't know if Leipzig are going to be reluctant to sell Upamecano to Liverpool now. You know, that's an interesting take. I didn't think of that, until now. So.
Right, because it's how much do they value club finances versus like, okay, well, this is one specific match where he's a guy who's going to be basically up until 1 month before the match, even a couple weeks if they go late, going to be game planning with the team, and then if he's suddenly on Liverpool, that's,
Exactly.
If you like this video, be sure to check out part 2 of our UEFA Champions League draw reactions and consider subscribing to our channel M2M Coverage for more sports content.